everybody, welcome to another video, and today I'm back again for another TFNation related video. And today this video is actually Dave and Emily again. So the last video you saw from me was pretty much answering the questions that I answered pretty much last year, and I think maybe the year before. So this time round, Dave and Emily have decided to give us 4 new questions, so kind of like a little bit newer compared to what they've usually asked. It is incredibly warm this evening, incredibly humid, dry, horrible, and I have literally only been in for the past almost an hour because I met up with Lizzie and Sam and my mate Matty from work. Yeah, I'm drained of all energy. So let's see if I can try and get this done. So if I come over a little bit lethargic, that's the reason. Number 1. Who was your favourite person to meet at a convention or past TFNs, AAs, whatever? Well, to be honest with you, that's kind of easy to answer. Mainly because I started doing the whole convention thing back in 2010, Auto Assembly. And the first Auto Assembly will always be my biggest and most favourite. Well, the first 2 years actually are my 2 favourite years of going to conventions. But 2010 Auto Assembly was kind of like the holy grail for me when it came to conventions, convention experiences. Why is because 2 of my big icons, and I just had a big nostalgic geek meltdown, because obviously that year Scott McNeil and Gary Chalk were the guests of honour at that year's convention. And so I will have to say meeting those 2 has to be my top. After those 2 is Steve Bloom, because Steve Bloom again was a big influence on me when I was a kid, because he was in Digimon, he was in Cowboy Bebop, he was in a lot of stuff on Toonami. He even voiced the little Toonami dude, as well as Sonny Strait as well, who played Krillin in Dragon Ball Z, or the Funimation dub anyway. So yeah, he was a big influence on me, because he was in a lot of big anime and a lot of stuff that I used to watch as a kid. So I would have to say, going to conventions, obviously I've mainly been to Auto Assemblies and now TFNs. I have been to other ones. Obviously I've been to Birmingham Comic Cons. Actually, I will mention 2 others out of other convention I've been to. I went to MCM Birmingham Comic Con. This was probably 2013, 2014. I think it's been a while. It was quite a while ago. I met 2 anime voice actors that work for Funimation. And if you don't know who Funimation are, well, generally a few of you will know who Funimation are. Funimation are pretty much a dub company that also translate Japanese anime into English, and obviously they dub as well. To do all sorts of stuff like that. And I'm a big fan of their works, and 2 of the voice actors all time, 2 of my favourite voice actors that do anime is Vic Miana and Todd Haberkorn, and they are 2 of my big time favourites, mainly because Vic Miana played Edward Elric in Fullmetal Alchemist, as well as shitloads of others. Todd Haberkorn plays Death the Kid in Soul Eater, and also he plays the main character in Fairy Tail. But mainly I really like him as Death the Kid. Death the Kid is a really awesome character, and he's from Soul Eater, and I really liked his performance in that. It's just those 2 guys have just always been a big influential big thing. So this is only the first question. I don't want to go too round the houses with this, but I will say, for going to Auto Assemblies and TFNs, I will say it has to be Scott McNeil, Gary Chalk, Greg Berger, Townsend Coleman, Steve Bloom, Paul Hiding, Peter Spellos. Yeah, I'll leave it at that, I think. And then Vic Miana and Todd Habercorn are adding to, but they're from previous convention, other convention, completely separate. But anyway, so yeah, so they would go for that. Number 2. What was your favourite pickup? Or pickups? This is difficult because I've actually gotten rid of a lot of stuff that I bought, like, way back then. I don't really have that much left anymore. I mean, obviously I've kept stuff for the past 2 years of TFNs, but I've had to kind of part ways with a lot of stuff to try and earn money. Obviously, my mum passed away last year, so I had to kind of, I felt the need to kind of part way with some stuff in order to try and get myself some fast cash to help towards the funeral and everything. So I pretty much, some of the things I managed to get back later, because I kind of regretted selling them. So one of the things that I sold was a Masterpiece Shockwave. I sold that because I knew it would sell very fast because it was very sought after, and I sold it, regretted it, and I thought, right, I'm gonna have to buy it again. So I managed to find one reasonable price, and I bought it again later on after everything had pretty much passed. But I'll have to say, for me, my big favourite pickup would have to be a Masterpiece Soundwave, because Soundwave is literally my favourite Transformer of all time. Literally one of my, he literally is. I just love him. I don't know what it is about him. I've just always had a big attachment to Soundwave, and when I managed to get hold of mine, because I managed to, I think, what did I do? I can't remember what I did. Oh, no, I know what I did. Me and Tony, obviously, we released the same, me and Tony got ours at the same time, Tony Fussell. We got ours at exactly the same time. Tony managed to get he got his, I think, off of Jim, Monkey's N. So he managed to get him off somebody else. But I think I arranged something with Kapow Toys, and I think I remember emailing them asking if there was a possibility if they could put one aside for me, and I pick it up at the convention. And obviously they're all too happy. They was all too happy to do that. The person that come back to me on the email said, yeah, we're happy to do that. You know, if obviously, because obviously King Grimmy, the guy who owns, main guy in charge of Kapow Toys, he knows me, and he actually knew I was going that year anyway. So he said, yeah, that's no problem. And I went around and I said, hey mate, how you doing? He said, hey, I got it for you. Give him the money. Walked out straight up to, and I had loads of people going, because obviously that was a big thing for me. I was like mentioning it in like auto assembly videos. Yeah, because it was an auto assembly. Yeah, it was auto assembly when it was released. So I was like walking out with it, and we're like, oh, dude, you've got it. Hey, it looks awesome. And I was just like, yes. I've literally never been like that over a toy in my entire life. But as soon as I heard Masterpiece Soundwave was getting released, and as soon as I managed to secure one, and then as soon as I got it in my hands, I just had this big euphoric, big nostalgic, just geeking overload. And I thought, right, I'm not going to mess about with it. I don't want to lose anything. I don't want to damage it. I took it straight up to my room, put it in my room, and left it there, because I thought, well, if I take it to the bar, people will probably want me to open it. And I thought, knowing my luck, I'd lose something. So, yeah. So that was probably that. Number 3. Biggest convention mistake. I think it's a very little needly thing. It was certainly a mistake on my part, and it was kind of a stupid, ignorant slash just kind of more nervy thing. Basically, it was just this little thing, and it kind of gave me a bit of a downer for the rest of the convention. Now, this was 2011, so bear in mind this was my second ever convention. So to be honest with you, many people have made this mistake. I'm not the only person, but in regards to the mistake, it was, obviously Greg Berger came in 2011. It was great to meet him. So obviously played Grimlock, and I went to him and I stupidly I was kind of panicking and wondering what the hell to get signed. And I literally stupidly kind of put quite a bit too much in front of him. And he happily signed the stuff, and I ended up queuing for him about 3 or 4 times because I stupidly had so much stuff that I wanted him to sign. And some of the stuff he actually said to me, I didn't actually appear in this. I was a bit later on in the series, but he said, I'll sign it anyway, I don't have a problem. And it was just a complete mess. And yeah, I think that's maybe why I'm a bit hesitant with meeting guests nowadays. I think that kind of haunted me a little bit. I know it was just a stupid mistake. I was wet behind the ears. It was my second ever convention. I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm sorry, I kind of upset. And I didn't really upset Greg Berger. He was just more concerned about other people queuing. So I've learnt from that where if I do get anything signed, I don't take shitloads of things. I take like maybe 1 or 2 things max, and I might just get a photograph with them. That way, it's been more lenient to those that in the queue. And to be honest, in 2 ways, you could have that in 2 ways. I've learnt my mistake from doing that, but at the same time, I found it because of that. I think that is the cause of me being a bit of my anxiety bubbling up, because I keep remembering me messing up that time with Greg Berger back in 2011, and I feel I'm going to do that again. I also regret not meeting Steve Bloom. Even though in the previous question I said that I did meet him, I actually didn't meet him face to face. I actually just went to his panels. Steve Bloom's queue was ridiculous. It was literally spiralling out the room. I actually attempted to queue for him on the Sunday, and my feet were literally dropping off. At least I felt like that. And I was knackered. This was pretty much kind of like a good an hour or 2 before the convention ended. I was literally just like, you know what? I can't be bothered. I'm literally knackered, and he's literally one of my big inspirations, and I would love to meet the guy, but I just bowed out. Number 4. What are your favourite 2 stories from past TFNs and or auto assemblies? This is the last question anyway, so. Right, so this is a 2-part question anyway. So 2 stories. Well, I remember one thing. I think it was 2011 or 2012 when the whole Birmingham riots happened. And obviously that year was kind of a bit in turmoil with the whole Birmingham riots, and there was rioting in London, and due to all sorts of horrible things going on in the news. And yeah, it was a weird year that year. I'm not going to say one thing that happened because it's a personal thing with Tony. As well as that, I think David Wise came that year. He actually fell out of the taxi and injured his arm, so for the whole convention he was in a sling. I think there was technical problems with the PA system, caused about an hour delay on scheduling. Everything just seemed to go wrong that year. Personally, like I think there was some people couldn't make it for personal reasons that really wanted to go. It just seemed a bit of a mess. Everything just seemed to go wrong. There was a lot of mistakes and a lot of problems and accidents, and Yeah, a lot of things. It was a weird year, 2011. But there was one good thing I do remember from that, though. Me and Dirty got pissed. Really, really pissed. First time I've ever been that drunk in my life. I've drunk my fair share of shit, I tell you now. Me and Dirty that year brought this black drink. It was licorice flavoured, I remember. I used to not like licorice, but for some reason I really grew a liking to his drink. So me and Dirty were pissed because nobody else would drink it. There was only maybe me and maybe another one or two people that actually tried it and thought it was alright. But me and Dirty got pissed on this black licorice flavoured drink that he brought from Iceland. Yeah, it was awesome. There's a picture that I took with him. We're both wearing green, and we were. I think Dodie was wearing a Viking helmet with horns on it, and I'm wearing my green polo neck T-shirt. Oh, it was brilliant. Oh, Dodie, you are the man, dude. You are the man. But another story to say to that, because that was obviously kind of part of the first one. I will say a story. There was one thing that happened, another thing that's I'm going to kind of just say as a bonus thing. I was asked for an autograph from Phil, Ratchet 25, where he came for the first time, I think he came for the first time in 2011, actually. I think he came 2011 or 2012. And he, not just myself, but he wanted an autograph from pretty much every big YouTuber he watched. Well, I wasn't really that a big YouTuber, but he saw himself, he thought it was all awesome and famous because he was on YouTube. And I remember pretty much him asking me for a autograph. And I was like, this is weird. I'm just a guy that talks bollocks to a camera in my room talking about a toy, and I'm being asked for an autograph. You know what I mean? That was really weird. But also at the same time. I think another thing I would have to say, I know this is completely going off the tangent of the question, but being a part of the TFYTC game show panel thing last year at TFNation, obviously last year was a horrible year for me, and it was a great fun little experience with Dave, Brad, Stu and Few. It was great to be on there, obviously Emalie as well. It was great to do it. Apparently I won. I still can't get my head about how I won that, but it was just great fun. It was awesome. But then getting back to the actual question to say my official second story, I would have to say that bumping into Gary Chalk in the lift at 2010, I was on my own and I bumped into Gary Chalk, the voice of Optimus Primal, and I'll say Optimus Prime from the Unicron trilogy, the main big bot himself. So I just went into the lift and the doors opened, there's Gary Chalk, he comes into the lift and he's talking to me, and I was just like, I watched obviously Dave and Emily's video, and I kind of share the moment that where Dave said about, you know, everybody was pretty much just on every word and everything that Scott McNeil was saying and doing, and he was literally just a big part of that convention that year. He was just such a big influence on a lot of people. He was there obviously with the ladies, you know, entertaining the ladies, entertaining the lads with autographs and photos, and just hearing Waspinator, Rattrap, Dinobot, Silverbolt, all the characters he voiced in Beast Wars, just emulating all over the bar, was such an awesome experience and such a great memorable thing that I will never forget. Please, Billy, please, Adam White, I know you watch my videos, please, I'm pleading with you, get Scott McNeil to come to TFNation, please, 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 get Scott McNeil again. I really hope you can maybe find it upon yourselves to see if he has an opening to possibly come over again, and maybe Gary Chalk as well, and maybe David Kay. We can have a Beast Wars themed Beast Wars themed TFNation, please. Thank you. But anyway, so I'm going to bring this to an end now. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll probably be making more of these because apparently Dave and Emily are going to be thinking about doing it as a weekly thing up until we go. So yeah, so thank you to Emily and Dave for an awesome few questions again. Thanks for watching. See you soon.